This is Gerald Johan van Waas and the educational channel of demonstrations that are related with the sounding form theory that you can find in book form as well. And the theory alone you can find with some extra demonstration how you can use it in the development of the word, extras in the application of the word. These series of videos are meant for the practice. So how can you use this theory of putting letters into forms and into meanings and recognize the meanings and forms in letters and in the words. How can you do so is demonstrated in these videos. There's a reason why this works, why all the letters combinations are hanging together in a system that makes it work. But that's something else that is explained elsewhere, but I'm not going to talk about that in this video. Only the demonstrations of how to change the letters combinations into forms, how to interpret them afterwards, and also how in the meanwhile how to understand not just the system behind it, but what I am doing by putting them into forms, what is happening really there. Underneath is a system that is much more complex than that. There is a system that has directions in time and space. I'm not going to talk about that today, but I will talk about the formation of letters. In the last video I explained the BU or the BO forms, and here I will take the BU forms with the U or U, the letter. They are a little bit more complex than the O. The O is and the B in combination work actually pretty well, because there's an extension, the B, which the extension finds itself a space or an environment with possible processes where it can be extended, where it can find its extensions. The U will make it is more difficult because it is a limitation, so I will talk about it soon, but I will tell you which examples I will take. I will take BOEK or BUK, le but, but, so the three words with but pronounced differently. I also have bus, bui, and buis just slightly as well. Bundle, bucket, and bull. Let's go. So the B is this extension which you are sure that you have an extension into two parts, or that kind of extension. It's extending itself and it stays within this range of 2, but it has the tendency to go beyond it. It is sure that it is an extension. That's the B, and you have this form with the B that you can see. In combination with the U, it's more difficult because the extension of U is limited. There will be a part that is extending, there will be a part which is not extending yet, and that is to find out. So there is a limitation there, so an opening there that is not going along with the extension. That kind of things that you can have. Of course the up or bu will be different. As you can see here, I have up as a form, and I have here bu underneath, and the three different forms of bu underneath. The bu is can be written as U, can be written as OA, and can be written as OO. These are three levels of extensions with an amount of extension. I told you already there's only a small amount which is extending. With the BU you will notice from within what is extending, what is not. With the BU, with OA, you know that it is fully extending. In O, the environment, A in extension, there is an extension, a steady extension in harmony with the B, let's say, which is in a growing process. Within that growing process, the O with double O, because the O is the environment, it's already extending itself beyond the limitations of O. So when you have indeed boop, the word, it is extending its extensions already in the limit, in the normal limitations of what it is already extending. It's a bit different than a bust, for instance. The boop is extending that normal limited space, so the limitations are a little bit less. The B and the U I have there on top. So the U is that extension that is going on from within. That's how you can explain it, and that from within is mostly dominant as the sound of the U is pronounced as U. Most of the time, so it also has this it has also this dependency. A part is extended, another part is not extended, and to what is it dependent? What does it make that some part is extending and another part is not extending? The same thing is happening in U, but on top it's already extending. That has a certain effect, an amount of effect. The U is more about the counter effect from within. And I will explain it with a first example. I will have BOEK and BUK with the U sound and with the U sound. The U on top and the U underneath. And it will have a different effect on the BUK, as you will see in a moment. Here I have the BU. So the U is at the same level as the B. It's extending. It has some variations. It doesn't know yet how much it will be extending, but it is in the extension form, and there's a balance in the extension. How more it is extending, the more it is, of course, and it could also be enlarging. That is possible, but it will be balanced from the center of B. In the book, you can see that in the book. So you have this extension from the middle to an enlargement. With BUK, which means bending over, it's different. It is dependent. These extending is limited. So the extending here is dependent on what part shall I extend, what not. So there's a disbalance, and this takes it also that it will go to within, to the first center of where it started to extend, and this will produce this form of BUK, as you can see already slightly explained underneath. So BUK, so this is incompleteness of adaptation. This first center that knows what it has to extend is affected, and it will become in two parts. So you will have an adaptation in two parts until you know what to do. I will try to explain it with some drawings. So the sound U is always looking for a feedback process, an adaptation from underneath, a counter effect. This counter effect with the K, it will have to break, but it cannot break through the limitations of the B. So it will follow the whole B form and will turn back inside, because there's no other place to go. It's limited, and it will has to find the where can it break to, where can it fill in, where can it be, where can it find its counterpart. Counterpart can fill in from the other side, and it will adapt going underneath. And as you can see there, here I have it again. With the BU it's imbalance, with the BUK it will break, and it will find its counterbalance and will bend over. BOEK, as you can see, it's there. the balance is there, the B is extending, the U will enlarge it, and it's like the book which is opening up and can have its can extend itself with the extras there, while BUK has to go inwardly. BOOK goes outwardly, it can open itself to you, to its content, to what it is extending to you, whatever how you can explain it. There are thousands ways to do so, but you can see and sense the difference. It wasn't very easy. Maybe I'm not very good in expressing this BUK yet. BOOK was already more clear. Bus or bus now, with in the Dutch word, I didn't find how I should design it with book bus so well, except there in on the top. With bus you have the underneath, it goes back to the underneath. It is quite difficult, I think. Also with the S, it's always trying to find the effect, the end effect, and trying to find what balances are from within is not very easy. You have this S form, which are the fluctuations that are already visible. So it is not easy to find the fluctuations there with the S form, but I tried, and I have a first form on top and a second form on top left, and in the middle you have the extension to within with the bus. There are two kinds of buses like I found. There was this collecting bus, which you can see this insert inwardly. So okay, that until there it fits. The bus, it didn't fit very well with the bus form, I thought. But if you put them upside down, you're more or less, you can recognize some part of the important part of the bus. You can recognize it. So far it's not 100% convincing for me, but if you know the letters you can understand it. So it is the B is the extension, which and then the S is the outer part and the U is the inner part. So you take, so it can be extended from within, and so that you can have so that's the purpose of it. The S is an effect or a purpose. You can say it in either way. It's also the purpose of a bus to put as much in it as you can, to have as much place in it as you can, and just fill it in. That's the purpose of it. I can investigate it further, so this is a first sketch, but you can already sense something which is in it. I trust it that every letter combination is correct, and even if I don't find the 100% match, in this case it's not a 100% match, but I leave it as it is. In the bus there, the collecting bus, it's quite funny that the form is not much like a bus, but in the Dutch word it's there. You also have the Dutch word buis, and that's it. It's also a container where some things can flow through. It is longer, so nobody says that in the bus you need this full range of container. It is not needed. It's you even have a bus, a post bus you have as well. So you put something in. How large it is behind that is not really the real essence of it, but to put something in it from within is the access point, and the more you can get more in it or not, that is there. Also in the post bus you have the same idea. Go over to the three kinds of words that are with but, B, U and T. You have the BU, the French word, le but. It's also written as B, U and T, but only pronounced as BU. So the BU should be very important. You know, in the BU there's one part which is filled in and another part which is not yet. The BU, le but, means the goal. Here you also have the knowledge that some part has to be filled in, that's a certainty, and some other part is not filled in, that's a certainty, that's a reality. So in a way this is the full picture, it's a vision on the full picture of what can be filled in. It's a realistic goal, if this is a goal. It is a realistic goal, knowing what can be filled in and what cannot be filled in, and this realizing it and going towards that point makes it also realistic. And the T itself, then it is not expressed, so it is in fact the distinction itself, and the distinction will be as much in the B as in the U. The le but is the distinction in this part, what can be filled in, what cannot be filled in the extensions that I have, in the things that I can fill in. I know what I have. Then you have those next word is bui, which means that's a rain shower. It's a Dutch word which is raining. So if you really start to filling in with ease, the filling in places everywhere, and you know what you've filled in, there's only a part that seeps through, and it seeps through to go to underneath. It could fit with the rainy shower as a matter of speaking. I also remind me of the other French word with bu, j'ai bu, of I drank. It is again a reference, grammatical reference point, reference to the verb boire or drinking. And the bu is that you are sure that you have taken in some water. That's in the past tense. You're sure. That's the part you're sure that you already taken in. Also fits in a way with this. It is something seeped in. You know what kind of thing is seeped in, what you have or what you don't. That's the way of thinking. I hope you can follow here. It is not so easy. I keep on taking this pattern of bu, and in but also you have the extension that you're sure of. So you go to an extension and you have two distinctions here. You have the distinction, I know what I have and I know what I don't have, with the focus on the T, this time with the real distinction that is added there. So I will focus on the distinction. So in a way it's a distinction. I know what I don't have. The but is exactly doing that. I know by extension, but there are some exceptions and so on. This is exactly the reference point that you can see there. Different with the word but with a double T. Here it has a physical reference. If it's completely physical, the extension, as you can see, and the T is what I'm saying, the expansion with the B, and then the distinction within. The distinction within in the certain point from then within with the U double T. So it's the distinctions. Distinctions is yes and no. And then again the T. So you're taking here in this case then the certainty. So there's a certainty. There is this part from within. Purely physical, it has a physical reference. The but is exactly pointing at the inner side of the extension, not much more than that. Here you have bundle, here you have bucket, and here you have bull. Bull, you have here the B again, and then the L in two directions, again the double L, so it's a two direction. The L is the two-dimensional physical extension here in two directions. If you fill that in also two times with the forms, you get more or less this form also of the, which can remind you very easily at the bull. Not just that, it's also about the content here. The B are extensions, the U is the incompleteness, the L is the enlargement into a physical realm. With another L, it will also, also the incomplete parts will be extended further in its physical appearance. This reminds me very much of the astrological sign of the bull, because this is this is really the focus again on what you know, what you don't know, what you have, what you don't have, but putting everything into a physical aspect. You also have the almost like you want to make it physical also what you don't have. You want to achieve what you don't have. You want to express what you don't have. This is very strong in the bull, also in the astrological or psychological aspect of it. I didn't explain so perfectly this time, but I hope you understand what I mean of also making something physical what you don't have. This not only what you have, but also what you don't have, making it physical and more physical. And it makes it doesn't make you vulnerable in that way, but you also are expressing and extending what is not really working well, or what you don't have. All these things, these are also getting a form, and that's why it's almost like an aggressive form, almost like this trying to achieve even that which is not so easily achieved. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed, that you also understood what I was saying. This was not the most easy of the videos, simply because I have had contradictions there. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This was Gerald van Was. There's a website too. I have a list there of my demonstrations, and you can subscribe to the BUK channel. I think you can, for more instructions, more demonstrations. Thanks again. Bye bye.